Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And if ever you drive through downtown Houma and you think, man, this place is awful, really cool, we got a bunch of people to thank for that. And we're really glad to have people to thank for that as well. And welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Keith. Thanks.
Absolutely. And of course, part of what you do as a manager of Main Street and for the parish, this is a wonderful time to celebrate 40 years of basically really invigorating downtown Houma for the last 40 years.
Yeah, actually in 1984 is when it started.
Right.
Michelle Claudet, Juana Woodard, Mr. Weil, there's a bunch of them that were on this board, and they're the ones that took this ball and ran with it. And from a little bit of the readings that I was able to get together in a short period of time, we were only one of 3 communities out of all 64 parishes that were accepted in 1984.
Wow. Isn't that cool? And here now we're looking at a celebration here since 84. And it was Donaldsonville, Franklin, Houma, Hammond, and so those communities celebrating 40th anniversaries.
Correct.
Yeah, very cool. And look, we've come a long, long way, but as we were talking before, there's so many people and so many people in the community that have said, you know what, let's beautify downtown Houma.
Absolutely.
Let's find whatever way we can do that. And I'm just trying to think of the events that have taken place in the last 40 years.
There's been a lot of events, and there's been a lot of buildings that have, if you remember the Waterlife Museum,
Right.
the St. Martin's donated that property, and they were going to utilize that property in the original integrity, and then a fire came.
Right.
And so it didn't stop the people that were working on the HDDC.
Right.
They just rallied. They worked with administration and private organizations. And now today you have the Terrebonne Waterlife Museum at 7910 Park Avenue.
Yeah, so very, very cool. Very neat. And that's just one of so many. Right?
Absolutely. Then they kind of crossed the street and they went over to the Mother of Terrebonne.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people call it the Memorial Park.
Right.
After Hurricane Ida, we started doing some research and we found out it's actually named the Mother of Terrebonne. And that's the fountain right downtown next to Lumineers, the restaurant.
Right.
And it's just recently been retiled. So that was the original one.
Yeah, look how beautiful.
And yes, it's beautiful. It's really pretty. And a lot of people have gotten married there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been a lot of small events there. People have made memories, took their high school pictures, took their prom, pictures, took their wedding pictures.
Right.
So yes, it's a great place.
Yeah, so very, very cool. And just one of those things that just if you drive it, and I drive it almost every day, you sometimes kind of forget how far we've come.
Absolutely.
You know, with everything that's been done in front of the courthouse. You know, the Centennial Park. I mean, just everything.
What about the bandstand? I mean, that
Yeah.
was private citizens that came together with that. So yeah.
In fact, I had some family members just a couple Sundays ago. A couple family members came and met us. We were right there at Downtown Joe having lunch, and just got to tell them, like, because they hadn't seen it in several years. One from Morgan City, one from Thibodeau, and they're like, "Wow, this is really cool." They just didn't realize all of the thing. And we talked about, we actually talked with Tommy G. There was 6 festivals in a row.
Yep.
Every Saturday going on. And then now celebrating downtown Houma again.
Yes.
Being able to do that on our Friday nights again.
Yes.
Just so very many things that are really go into celebrating Houma.
You're right. And people needed it. I mean, with COVID, people were distancing themselves, and it hurt people physically, emotionally. Some even passed.
Right.
And it also hurt businesses in that same aspect.
Right.
But now we're coming back together.
Right.
We're very resilient people.
Right.
and all the activities that we're having. And it's multicultural now. We just had Twins Fest. Before that, we had our first weenie spaghetti.
Yep. Brian in that group.
And we had a poetry night during Mardi Gras, and there's more things that are going to come. But I'm glad to see that the community is starting to embrace downtown Houma as their community and not a select few.
That's exactly right. We got a few more picks. Dwayne, let's run through those and can tell us a little bit more about all of the beautification that's being done. Of course, the 40 years of Louisiana Main Street and being able to celebrate that. I love the logo, too.
That's a great group of people too. If I can just shoot some kudos real quick to the Louisiana State. This is the Water Life Museum at 7910 Park Avenue.
Talked a little bit about it.
It's a great facility. It's that was for Christmas one year, and I don't know if you remember, but we did demonstration day that same time.
That's exactly right.
So those were handmade, the little Houma deals. This is just to demonstrate what downtown Houma could look like during demonstration day. And people participated.
Yeah, they really did.
They enjoyed it. They participated. And that's how we got the Rotary Centennial Plaza through a nonprofit, public and private partnership. Yeah. And look what we have. It's beautiful.
Yeah, some people thought Melanie and I were vacationing when we took a shot one night downtown.
And this is the Culture Center. This is where I'm housed. But just to let everybody know, there are weekly classes there. There's wood carving. There's Cajun dancing periodically. There's painting and quilting. But the facility is opened every day, and we also do the bookings from the Dumas and the Municipal at that location.
Right. Yeah. And so it's just one of those things that we just kind of remind people that the beautification in our city, the beautification of downtown Houma, has been 40 years in the making. And there's been a lot of people that have come through here, a lot of leadership, a lot of changes in leadership. But the one focus has been about making sure that we're celebrating what we love here about Houma. And we're so very glad that you always come on to talk about that and celebrate that. And we'll be out at all the festivals because I know there's a lot more coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. I got a whole lot more right here about your time.